think ChatGPT was a big deal, quantum AI might make today's AI look like an old flip phone.
Quantum is 5 years away from being where AI is today, where everyone's talking about it. And it's just like, you have to be invested in it. You have to be thinking about it.
People don't want to spend the time shopping. It's costing us more labor. We pick the groceries now, people come pick it up. And then the delivery aspect too. Talking about drones delivering groceries. So it's a concern for us.
In this episode, we explore not only how quantum could supercharge AI, but also its impact on reshoring in the US and creating entirely new possibilities. Let's dive in.
So talking of big features, you've been kind of investing in quantum AI, which seems like an even bigger future than the current kind of future. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your thinking there.
Yeah. Quantum is maybe 2 to 4 years away, maybe 5 years away from being where AI is today, where everyone's talking about it. And it's just like, you have to be invested in it. You have to be thinking about it. But if you want to have any chance of like kind of getting ahead with quantum, whether it be governments, businesses, or individuals, less so, but still to some extent there's some stuff that needs to be done now in preparation, especially if you're an investor, because very few of the quantum computing startups are kind of cheap. They already are starting to pick up that AI story. But with quantum AI, the future is AI on steroids, right? It's right now AI will maybe get your answer 73% of the time, right? And you have to check the rest. The hope is that with quantum powering these algorithms, powering these language models, powering everything that is kind of backing up what is AI today with exponentially more powerful computing power, you're going to see more accurate AI systems. You're going to see more energy efficient AI systems, and you're going to see AI systems that are going to be able to do things that literally physically can't be done with a binary code, GPU type system. And that's because quantum, like our world believes that, everything lives in a quantum world. And so the only way to really synthesize that, to understand it, even for an AI, is to use quantum computers. And so when they have that in their toolkit, and I'm saying they as like the AI,
Right.
Humanizing it, but when they have that in their toolkit, they're going to start being able to, model molecules, proteins, all these different things to make new medicines and make new materials, to answer questions that can't be answered today. And so I think it's just quantum is a very big extension of the current AI story. It's just going to power it, further. And I think maybe in a couple of years, you'll see an uptick in the use case of quantum in like the real world. And by about 2030, you'll see some real applications of what the theoretical quantum potential is in real life.
Right. So switching gears a little bit, you managed to grow your kind of grocery store chain quite a bit and do that sort of incrementally. How have you guys kind of managed that growth and figured out which stores to get into? Well, what's the secret to the kind of incredible growth you guys have had?
A lot of studies on the locations, knowing the area, trying to improve what the existing operator was doing. Our model is typically to take over existing locations. Maybe somebody's retiring or doesn't want to do the business anymore. We did one ground up. It's expensive, but so the option for us is existing locations and then improving it with fresh products, made homemade at our commissary, where we could bring in on day one when we take over a store, rather than having to train staffs. Just more efficiency.
Right. And groceries is a super competitive kind of space.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of compete in this space with all the competitors out there?
It's all about saving labor, maximizing gross profit, and trying to grow sales. just efficiencies is the biggest thing. Anywhere we could save $1, it helps. It helps keep prices low, pass them on to the customer, and we grow business.
Right, right. So, Aaron, any other emerging trends you're excited about beyond quantum?
I mean, that's what I'm most excited about for sure. One of the emerging trends that's the result of some of the political situations we're in is going to be reshoring. And when it comes to reshoring, and specifically reshoring manufacturing, we are too expensive of a society to make things as cheaply as they can be made in China or the rest of the world. So the only way you're going to do that in any kind of successful way that doesn't increase inflation by double digits is through AI productivity, efficiencies, and through automation. And so, you know, on one side of the coin, you could say what you will about how it's kind of getting done right now on the political side. If there is a lot of reshoring, and I don't necessarily agree with all of the situation of what's going on politically, but if there is a lot of reshoring, the only way we're going to successfully rebuild our manufacturing capacity and industrial capacity in America is if we do it through automation. And that's not robots taking people's jobs. That's just allowing businesses to actually be able to make things cheap enough to be a profitable business.
Right.
And in theory, have enough industrial capacity where you're also increasing the jobs for Americans as well, not just robots in America. And so I think if we're gonna build that, which I think we absolutely need to, because China in the next 10 years could have a very big industrial collapse because of their population and the demographics of it. And if we want to rebuild kind of our industrial base, it's much better to build it with cheap Chinese manufacturing capacity online than building it after that Chinese manufacturing capacity has come down because there's not enough people to work in the factories.
Right.
Right. And then you're seeing significant inflation. So I do think that if we're smart about it, right, if we really want to do this the right way, and we've, the last 4 years, we've actually done that. You see manufacturing facilities getting built left and right. If that continues as it should, and we move into some of the more industrial products, the refineries, refining like rare earth metals and some of that stuff, we're going to be much better off in the future. That could be a lot more uncertain, a lot more chaotic and less global, whether we like it or not. And so I do think that automation is critical in this kind of new buildup of our industrial capacity.
Yeah.
AI is, critical to the success of that.
Right. Right. What about you, Luke? Any trends in the grocery world that you kind of can see coming?
Online delivery, we're seeing it now. Click and collect. People don't want to spend the time shopping. It's costing us more labor. We pick the groceries now. People come pick it up, and then the delivery aspect too. Talking about drones delivering groceries. So it's a concern for us, and we're not in that game, but we need to look into it.
With quantum AI, we'll even have enough processing power to determine when humans will become obsolete. Let's hope it's not before I can start walking, rather than just talking. Quantum computing does open up dizzying possibilities. And yes, we'll need to be cautious. But from speeding up new material development to making reshoring viable, quantum AI can be a major competitive advantage. If you're considering how this might shape your industry, these kinds of major trends are things at Prescatter we are always keeping on top of. We'd love to have a conversation, but otherwise, subscribe to our newsletter linked in the description below to keep up with these topics and more.